So I keep telling you guys I need to cut the clear on this truck because of the orange peel. So I used a different paint gun on the cab than I normally use just because of the size of it. I used my normal one on the doors, and you can see there's still orange peel. You're always gonna get orange peel. I mean, that's just the way the painting goes, but the doors are pretty dang good as far as the peel goes, and I haven't cut and buffed those yet. But the cab, see if you can see it, it's pretty heavy orange peel in here. Now I'm not worried about the entire thing, like the roof I'm not worried about. Down here behind where the bed's gonna go, not really worried about that either. Mainly just this strip here and these rear pillars. The rest of it you're not really gonna see. I could possibly try this, but I don't want to burn through with this factory seam here, so I'm not really gonna get too carried away with that. And same goes for up here on the front. Not worried about this where the seal rides, and I'm not really worried about the valance cowl piece here. Obviously all this is behind the fenders, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to catch this on video. I am gonna cut and buff the doors too, mainly just this flat strip and down here. This I'm not too sure about. I do have a friend that lives next door. He's a detailer. Maybe he can give me some insight on cutting and buffing on something like this angle here. I really just don't want to burn through. It's not the end of the world if I do burn through, because I paint every day. Not vehicles, of course. I just do that because it's something I like to do. I paint machines, so not really the same process, but you know, just give or take a couple steps. Anyway, so I'll film doing the cut and buffing on this, and we'll see how it turns out. And then I'm really gonna push this week to get these doors done, and that might be in this video. And I'll film what I do to them and all the steps that I take on them. I've been talking about them the last couple videos, and it's time we get them done. Alright, so we're heading to Menards for some house projects I got going on. But I do know I need to grab some fittings for the 47RE transmission in this Cummins swap. So I'm going to get under there, pull the two factory fittings. I'm going to go see what they have at Menards. Basically just looking for an NPT to a hose barb. I'm going to do 1/2 inch cooler lines for the transmission. So they should have them in stock. So we'll just throw that in here too. And I'll show you the underside of the truck while I'm down there. Alright, as you can see, I am laying down. You can see me in the reflection. We're going to go underneath. So let's scoot under here. See just what we're dealing with. We don't have a drive shaft in here yet. I am going to pull this cross member. Sorry about the light from the door being open, so we won't block it. But yeah, this is for the factory carrier bearing on a 2-piece style drive shaft. But I'm going with a single aluminum drive shaft, so we're going to delete this, get it out of the way. You can see it's just a slip yoke on the 2-wheel drive since we decided to stay 2. Here's the cross member I made for the 47RE and the square body. I just took some tube, angle iron, welded it on there. 2 bolts on each side. And obviously I painted it up. And then the center is just a angle bracket we cut on the plasma table. You can see how it goes on there. Wraps around a little bit. Uses the factory Dodge 47RE trans mount. That's all factory Dodge up here. This is factory. This is a factory style mount. So yeah, and it leaves plenty of room for exhaust to come through off the downpipe. Then on the driver's side, there's tons of room over here too. So that worked really well. Let's see, I believe the fittings are actually on the driver's side. I haven't ever done this on a 47RE. So yeah, here we go. So right here, this is one of the cooler fittings we're going after. So we'll pull that guy, and then the other one should be right there on the front side. This is all linkage I have. This is your static TV lever. That's because I'm running the anteater, so they need that on there. Besides the point, let's get these pulled out and run to Menards and see what they got. Also, while I'm down here, I figured I'd show you guys, for all the people that hate on the straight cut, so you can see my weld here where I cut the frame down, make it a short bed. Then on the inside I have these fish plates that I made. They're nice and thick, fully welded, both sides. Even did the cutouts and welded inside the cutouts. Running the nickel copper brake lines. Sorry about the weird twist. All the way back I have all four corners and going to the rear axle. This is a stainless braided Russell kit for like 2001 to 10, I believe, 3/4 ton. So yeah, I did all new brake lines throughout. This is a 2005 Duramax rear axle, single wheel, but we have disc on the rear. Again, stainless braided lines, new calipers, brakes, the whole 9 yards. It was a 1-ton truck. I took a bunch of the leaf springs out to get it where I want. Did the Suburban style tank on the rear. Made my own cross member for that with some help from the father-in-law. Got it mounted up. I still need to make some shock mounts. I think I'm going to do both of them to the front side of the axle here and run something across. Just haven't got that far yet, so we'll get there on that. Alright guys, jumping back in here. It's been quite a few days, probably about a week actually, since I started filming for the Squarebody project. So last time I filmed, I think I was talking about the transmission fittings. We were going to go to Menards. I went there and for house project stuff, but while I was there, I was going to look for some simple fittings since they're NPT. They didn't have the size I needed in stock, so I ended up getting them on Amazon, which probably ended up being cheaper. So for the 47RE, what I have here, they are 1/2-inch barb, so that's the hose size that I'm going to be running for the tranny cooler. And then I think it was a 1/4 NPT, which I haven't test fit them yet, but they should work. I do have the other bag. This has the parts that I took out. So, anywho, we're going to get those thrown in, try and get some brackets made and get a tranny cooler installed. That's just something easy I can do. My boy Adam doing Cleater's car. Should be pretty sweet. Anywho, I'm also going to be taking these doors up to my father-in-law's. They got some tiny holes at the bottom of the rear driver's side, and then the front driver, it has a single hole at the bottom, just from where it was sitting. It was on a really clean truck project, and it sat with water collecting in that door sill. Unfortunately, it rusted a small hole at the bottom, but I think I've said it before, but I'm not shooting for an absolutely perfect truck on this. I want a usable, fun, neat truck. Yeah, it's going to be a little custom, you know. I did a short bed swap. It's pretty common on the crew cabs. And Cummins, of course. But nothing too crazy. Like, yeah, I want it to be nice, of course. But it doesn't have to be a, you know, SEMA show quality. You know, I'm trying to do this on a budget, have fun, and make a usable truck. These doors weren't perfect either. This rear one turned out pretty dang good for what it was. The front one was also a non-OEM door. It was OEM to a different truck. Both the OEMs are there and there. And I don't do body work. I just do it for myself, really. I don't offer it for people. Just my neighbor guy, I've done some stuff for him, but I'm really not the best at it. It's nothing I've ever been trained on, just kind of do it for fun on my own. to try and save myself some money. So that's why I do it. This driver, our passenger front door, it's got a small spot where you can see my body work. It might be hard to pick up on camera. Right, you can kind of see it up in here. And I'm going to be transparent about it because it's not perfect and people are going to see it when I get it done. And that's fine. I'm building it for me. If I'm happy with it, get it on the road. That's my main goal for this summer. And a door is something we can always go back and do another one. Buy a clean one. If I'm painting it, it's not that big of a deal for me to try and match it and just do a different one later on. So, like I said, doesn't really matter. We're not shooting for perfection. We're just going to try and make a fun truck. And I think this will be a perfectly fun truck. Got the P-pump 12 valve. You know, we're going to probably end up doing a turbo and whatnot. It's got injectors already. I did the timing and everything. It's got a really neat interior. So it's got a flip-up center, headliner truck. I don't know if they all were. And then this rear seat lays into a bed, which right now it's just a parts table. So all 3 kids will be able to fit, you know, me and the wife. No dog. We don't have a dog, but it would be perfect for one if we did. That's besides the point. Just rambling on about stuff, but yeah, so we're going to get the training lines done. Then I'm going to start tackling fuel lines. I need to get a drive shaft coming and get it wired up. I want to get it moving. Of course, in the meantime, I'm going to be doing more body work. Hopefully I'll order that bed floor this week, get it coming to replace the bed floor that we have. I'll take you over there and show you that here in a second. Show you why I want a new bed floor. It'll pair nicely with these bed sides. And same thing on these bed sides even. They, one of them here, this, I think it's this one. It does have a dent, a pretty decent dent that I'm going to have to try and body work out. And not super thrilled about it, but not much I can do. I got a screaming deal on them. I didn't have to pay for shipping or anything. I met a guy about 45 minutes from here. He had them for his project just sitting. And when he opened them up, because I asked him, he did tell me, like, hey, yeah, one had shipping damage. I didn't even know it. And I think I gave $700 for both of them, like, together. So, to me, that was a pretty good deal. It's worth trying to do a little body work, make it decent. And if I was going for a perfect showroom quality truck, yeah, I would just order new ones and I wouldn't have done that. But it is what it is, and that's what we're doing. So let's go take a look at that bed floor over there. So yeah, here is the bed floor. I bought a full short bed. It had bed sides I took off. As you can see, it was upside down when I bought it, and the guy said it was clean. It did look really clean on the underside. It's not bad at all, honestly. But, you know, they torched out the holes, really wallered them out. And I thought about just cutting out some pucks and welding them on, and then, you know, using it that way. This rear bed, yeah, the rear bed rail, they do sell it for about $200. It's got some rust up and in there. But honestly, it's a pretty solid bed floor for what it is. I think it's got just a little spot here. It'd be plenty usable for a truck that's like a burnout truck or just a shop truck or something. So I think what I'll end up doing is I'll keep this and the bed sides that came with it on the side. For now, I'm going to rob the header panel and these wheel tubs and whatever bolts I can out of it, just to get my other project going. I'd love to do a regular cab short bed truck with an LS at some point. I mean, tons of vehicles I want to do stuff to. When or if I will, it's hard to say, but you know, a guy can dream. Here's my MG. I think it's a 75 MG, little 5-speed. It's a fun little car. Really don't have any plans for it. I was gifted it from a family friend that's basically like my grandpa. He moved down to Florida pretty much most of the year, so I was gifted it. It's just been sitting over here. Michigan, don't really have to worry about snakes, which is great. Not that, yeah, I don't like snakes. I'll pick up a garter, but that's about all. spiders don't bother me, so we can get in here. But yeah, just a neat old little car. And it is tight with me in it. Yeah, you thought the Jeep in my other video was bad. Look at, oh boy, crap. I couldn't imagine being a much bigger guy. Like, I mean, I fit pretty well once you're in here, but getting in and out, it's, you know, it's low to the ground. Doesn't quite give me the car fix I'm looking for. I still really want to get a car, but maybe if we do some stuff to this, it could be fun. Got plenty of room in the engine bay, but it's a pain to pop, so we're going to leave that for now. But yeah. So actually, I've done a new fuel tank in this, ascending unit. I cleaned it up at one point, but it's clearly dirty again. It does run and drive, it just needs brakes badly. There is 0 brakes in the thing. Maybe we will get it out, fix it up a little bit, and do some road cruising in it. It'd be kind of cool. It's definitely not a perfect car, but it'd be fun to take out and show off a little bit. Of course, we got plans for this thing, as always. It's never ending. A laundry list of stuff I'd love to do to it. I know I keep jumping around on this square body video, but still the same day as when I filmed previously on this video about the fittings. Went up to the father-in-law's house, and he was kind enough, he gifted me a cooler that I'm going to use for the transmission. It's just your G+, I believe it's an Amazon special. I have the same brand on the Jeep actually for engine oil and transmission cooling. It works really well. The ones on the Jeep have fans on them, but I think for this it should be okay without one. Maybe if we have to, we'll add one later on. And he also gave me some transmission oil hose from Durali. It's pretty good stuff, I know that. So big thanks to him on that. That's going to help us get the transmission cooler set up and done, and we can continue on that. And boy, am I ready to get this thing back on the road. I honestly, when I bought this truck, it wasn't running. It needed a fuel pump on the big block that was in it. I did that, and I only drove it back and forth to my in-laws' house, and they live right next door. So I haven't really had any time driving the truck, and a square body was always my dream. I always wanted one. The very first truck I ever went and test drove was a regular cab K10, and since then I always wanted one. Fast forward many vehicles later, I finally purchased this truck from a coworker. And yeah, I haven't even got to enjoy driving it yet, but I have completely blown it apart. And you see where it's sitting right now. So we need to get this thing wrapped up and back together. And hopefully filming it will give me some motivation to keep the project alive and just get it back on the road. You know, I watch plenty of other YouTubers and they give me a lot of inspiration. Vice Grip is a huge one who always says, you know, like, just get them back on the road, use them, enjoy them. And that's kind of what I'm shooting for, is just really just using the thing and enjoying it. You know, it's what it was made to do. It wasn't made to just sit in a barn and, you know, rot away. So anywho, we will continue filming this series and I'll put them all into one video. And you're going to see that, so I don't know why I'm explaining it to you. I cut this out. These are a couple holes on one of the doors, like I was saying. They're not perfect. I'm making them work. Trying to stay budget friendly and make this thing a cool driver. So, you know, like Vice Grip and all them others say, it ain't going to Pebble Beach. All right. So I got this little hole here that I'm going to make a fill piece for. And then I already made the fill piece for this side. The neighbor guy ended up having some leftover sheet metal from a truck project. So luckily I was able to snag a small piece from him, as you can see here. So that was really nice of him. I appreciate that. He also hooked me up with a drive shaft I think we might be able to use for this project. So that'll be great. We are going to be TIG welding it in instead of using the MIG welder. Got the drive shafts all loaded up. This is the slip yoke portion that I need for the Dodge transmission. That's from the Dodge. And this is a Duramax drive shaft that I got from my brother-in-law. Not using this slip yoke portion, I'm just using the rear. They're going to cut out the center tube and extend it. So this will be for the square body. They quoted me roughly $650, $660, something like that, to get it done, which isn't too bad because it's going to be a pretty lengthy one-piece aluminum on this rig. All right, we're exactly 1 week later, back down in South Bend. I dropped off the drive shaft last Friday. They finished it yesterday, and I'm down here today, which is the following Friday. I got the new drive shaft all picked up. So it's got my factory slip yoke from the Cummins, and then ended up doing an all new aluminum drive shaft. So it's 5-inch, it's got new ends, fully balanced, rotated everything by them here at Action Machine. This is a long one because it's a two-wheel drive crew cab short bed, and I didn't want a carrier bearing, so it is a bit long, but they can go up to 12 inches longer than what I did here, and it's rated for quite a bit of horsepower still, and they did a really nice job. I was just over $900 for the build, which is actually pretty good. So yeah, definitely check these guys out if you're in need of a drive shaft or anything drive shaft related and you're in the South Bend area or nearby. It's about an hour for me, and I made the drive, so yeah. All right guys, sorry for the weird cut in this video. This video has been in the making for over a few weeks, probably even a couple months at this point. I've been really busy with other projects, but I did take some clips on my phone that's going to be in this video before here, so might be kind of odd where I'm jumping in, but I did get the drive shaft made. So I got to get up in there and cut out that cross member where the factory carrier bearing used to be, because I did a single piece aluminum drive shaft. Here lately I have been messing with the bed, trying to get that floor kind of fitted and situated, seeing where it's going to fall. And then I got the bed sides working. This one I bought these from a guy that bought them brand new, and they're brand new in the package. I opened this one, it had some damage, so I knew that already, but I'm gonna have to body work that. So I'm gonna be putting the bed together. I'll probably get the brother-in-law or father-in-law down here to help me with that. I did get new inner fender liners from LMC. We'll see how well they work. I still need to body work these doors. I got them all sanded down. Basically just going over everything up to where we previously videoed, just so I can get this video put out as kind of like a part one on continuing the square body build. You guys had seen earlier that I got the tranny cooler, I got the fittings I need, so we're gonna get that put in. And I'm currently making a video for an LS, doing a simple regasket, freshen up, and then I'm gonna swap it into my buddy's wife's truck. She's got a 04 Tahoe, 05 Tahoe. Basically just putting a fresher engine in it. And then I'm gonna try and see if maybe I can't snag on the engine I take out. But we'll see about that. So that's currently what I'm working on and doing. I do want to get the square body wired really soon so I can at least start it and then start working towards getting it moving. And I'm going to show you. So this is a car I'm doing a little bit of work to. This dang thing. See how beautiful it is outside. We had just a little bit of wind in our area. I mean, north of here got hit pretty good. Another Michigan storm. But we've been without power for a day and a half, going on 2 days. So hopefully that comes back so I don't have to listen to that. With the generator, it powers our house, but not the garage. So I'm kind of in the dark here. I'm gonna get under here, get that cross member out of there. Like I said, just gonna cut the rivets, and then we will see if this drive shaft actually works. So while I do that, you guys are just gonna flash right to the end, and it's gonna look super simple for you. Alright guys, so it's actually the next night. That cross member fought me a lot more than I imagined it would. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up here. It's going to be kind of a short one and probably a little spotty on how it went, just because I filmed over a bunch of random time. I'll definitely keep doing more videos on the Squarebody to keep process and progress going on this thing. So this is just going to be a short fill-in video, basically. You know, finally start getting some Squarebody content on the page. I know for sure in the next video, we're going to be tackling getting rid of the dually front rotors. I have one here that we're going to try. I got from the father-in-law, and then I'm going to get another one. We're going to do inner and outer wheel bearings on it, swap the rotors over, and I am pressing in studs that match the Duramax rear axle. So instead of standard, they'll be the metric. But we got the new drive shaft in there. Looks awesome. Fresh hardware, straps. So yeah, that went in really good. And like I said, I just struggled a bit with this cross member, and you're gonna see I got a bit of a mess going on with this thing. Don't mind that. YouTube doesn't like those anymore. But anyway, yeah, so I cut her in half and had to pry it off the rivets because the old center punch wasn't doing it, and neither was the air hammer. So, yeah. Anyhow, I was invited by the neighbor, Hunter Clark, to go down to the Indy 800 with Cletus. And he is got some brand deal or sponsorship through Nitto, so he does show trucks. Anyway, so we're going to be in the Nitto booth down at the Indy 800, and of course he drives Fords. He's got Ford show trucks. His daily truck is broken because he has a Ford, so he asked me if we could take the Duramax tomorrow. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hook the Duramax up to the gooseneck. We're going to put a show truck on there and go down to the show and hopefully have a good time. And I'm going to bring all of you along for that. So my next video should be the Indy 800 put on by Cletus and the boys with my neighbor. So he'll be getting a debut on the channel as well. I've wore a lot of his stuff. He's the HC Auto Works, which you guys have to go check out his socials as well. He does a lot of really cool stuff, and he has a really good following, so I keep trying to get him on the YouTube as well. Anyway, that's just a quick recap. Be on the lookout for more Squarebody content and everything else I have going on. Thanks guys, appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next one. Also, for anybody wondering, it got cold in Michigan again. Have to love it here.